Seriously, the Dunk Lows are killing it. Whether it's a Dunk Low, an SB Dunk Low, or an SB Dunk Low Pro, it doesn't matter. They're having the summer of their lives. Some of the shoes that have come out from the Nike line, whether they just be the pure kind of Nike only Dunk Lows, absolutely fire. And then some of the collaborations that they've come out with have been absolutely incredible as well. And they've made some great choices like this right here, the 711s, which they chose not to go ahead with, which I think was actually a good choice not doing that. That's way too commercial. And then you come to a shoe like this today, and that's where the Dunk Low line needs to be. This is cool, and it's cool in the truest sense of the word. It's not supreme cool. It's not off-white cool. This is proper cool. This is like unique, single store, very kind of unique to one place in the world. Absolutely, it's going to be rare. It's going to just be one of those gems, but it's not meant to be a gem. It's just like a store tying it up with its favorite shoe and making a very cool shoe. And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be trying to grab tons of money out of the market. It shouldn't be trying to be the coolest shoe of the year. It shouldn't be like, how many of these things can we sell? It shouldn't be market share or anything like that. It should be just make something, and if people like it and buy it, thank you very much. And that's what I'm talking about as we take a close-up look today at the Nike SB Dunk Low Pro Civilist. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください。Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring this content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And I'm laughing because I just made a mess of a bit in the video. I wonder if I should put it back in. You know what? I'll put it back in right now. Nike SB Dunk Low Pro.
Elitist.
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 Elitist. And because I shouldn't cut that stuff out, and I say I don't, but when I make a mistake like that, I do. I just called it the Nike SB Dunk Low Elitist. That's what I called it, which is so wrong. It's so wrong for me to do that, because this isn't about being elite at all. If you had a spectrum and on one end you had the word elite, this would be on the other. It's unique, and it's just sort of real. It's street. It's just kind of not pretentious at all. There's nothing about it that says that I'm trying to be cool. And that's why it's cool. But when you use a word like elite, that totally has different connotations. And so a mess at the start of the video. I hopefully retrieved it by actually calling it the Civilist. If the people at Civilist ever watch this.
Never gonna happen.
But if the people at Civilist do watch this, I apologize for making a mess of your store name. Hopefully making a mess of it will actually turn people around into actually thinking about it. So it'll turn out to be a good thing that I messed up this video. Well, not the video, just the intro. But I do want to have a look at this shoe and talk about the Nike Dunk line, who have been awesome this year. Absolutely incredible. I think they haven't put a foot wrong. Like I said, that 711 they didn't drop. Great decision. Now, I haven't liked all of them, but other people have liked all of them. So not everyone likes all of them, but they're all liked. And I'm talking about the Ben & Jerry's. Boing! There's a Ben & Jerry's there. I know people drool over that. I know they're all like, yeah, the Ben & Jerry's is super cool, 4 figures at resale and all that. Didn't like it. Just me. Don't really like furry things on my sneakers, so you know, it's a personal opinion. But there were enough people out there that liked this shoe for it to be a success for the Dunk Low line. But then you also had the recently dropped Bear Bricks, which were also kind of furry. If it hadn't been furry, I would have liked it. But I just don't like furry shoes. That's just me. I know it's a bear. I know it's meant to have fur, but that's just me. I don't really like that kind of thing. But of course, very, very popular shoe. So in terms of success, in terms of how well the shoes have been received, I don't think the SB or the Dunk line at all, like so Dunk Lows, SB Dunk Lows or SB Dunk Low Pros, I don't think they've put a foot wrong all year. And it's just fire. It's not even just safe not putting a foot wrong. It's actual fire. Some of this heat that's coming out of the Dunks is incredible. And today I'm glad to have a look at this shoe because I think it's one of the best. It's absolutely one of the best. I love the denims. There's the denims. Local release out here in Japan. I didn't get anywhere near getting my hands on them, but I thought they were beautiful. I loved that shoe, and I really dig this shoe. I really, really do. It's a bit gimmicky because what you've got, and I'm going to read this off my iPad, it says thermochromatic finish. And what that means is when the upper is heated or temperature changes, maybe cooled as well, who knows, but I would guess heated, that the temperature of the upper changes. And I'll put behind me here both the shoes side by side, the pre-heat black version and then the past pro heat Pro Heat, the After Heat, colourful version. You can see how they've changed. Later in the video I'll show you a picture of what that looks like in between those two. So you've got the black one that's not heated, and then the colourful one that is heated, and somewhere in the middle you'll obviously transition from black to colour. And instead of doing it later, I'll do it now. Bang, there you go. There's an on-feet shot of those guys, and you can see how the colour's coming out and changing as the heat sort of takes hold of the shoe. And I think that's cool. It could have gone wrong, it could have been gimmicky, but I don't think it did. I think they've done a great job on that. And what they've also done a great job on is some details on the shoe. And there's two particular pieces of branding on the shoe that I absolutely love. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about why this is an SB Dunk Low Pro. There are three Dunk Lows. There's the Dunk Lows, the SB Dunk Lows, and the SB Dunk Low Pros. And what I'm zooming on right here is what we call the quarter line, which is the strap that comes up round about the midfoot, just in front of the midfoot, and attaches to the bottom of the lacing system there. And in the case of SB Dunk Low Pros, it's the only one of the three, Dunk Low Pro, Dunk Low, SB Dunk Low, SB Dunk Low Pro. In the case of those three shoes, the SB Dunk Low Pro is the only one where that lacing, the quarter line actually comes up. And if you've got the lacing system like this, the quarter line comes up on top of it. The other two sneakers, the Dunk Lows and the SB Dunk Lows, not Pros, the quarter line comes up and it stops short of the lacing system. But hopefully what I'm showing you here and zoomed in on is that lace, that quarter line coming up and going on top of the laces, and that's why we know it's an SB Dunk Low Pro. That's important because usually you can read SB Dunk Low Pro on the tongues and you can't on these guys. So that giveaway is gone, and you have to actually look at the quarter line and how it interacts with the lacing system to see whether it's Dunk Low Pro, SB Dunk Low Pro, or an SB Dunk Low, SB Dunk Low, or an SB Dunk Low Pro. And in the case here, so we'll look at that tongue because there isn't that branding on there that says Dunk Low Pro as it would normally do, but there are two features about it that I just absolutely love. One is it doesn't say that, it just says the Nike up there. I think it's Nike and SB is all it says up there on the tongues. But then between them is a swoosh, and it's super cool. This funky yellow pixelated swoosh, absolutely on point, and I love it. That's the first of the two pieces of branding on this shoe that are unique, and they're just right because they're not huge and overbearing. Both of these pieces of branding, the second one I'll talk about in a minute, they're not huge and overbearing, they're just sort of subtle and right there, which is not what the insole is. The insole is absolutely anything but subtle. It's totally the heated version of the shoe as opposed to the cooled version. Looking in there, hopefully I'm showing you here, you can see the branding on there, you can see the colours all popping out of that insole, and you can see a big yellow emoji smile face on there, and it's just very over the top, but it's on the insole, so you rarely get to see that, and I like that. I don't mind people playing around with insoles and putting the sort of uniqueness in there so that it's not kind of overbearing on the outside of the shoe. And then, like I said, the second piece, it's just quick for me to go from the tongue back into the insole. That's why I did that before going to my second favourite bit of branding, which is hanging off the swoosh. You can see the Civilist. I had to think about it, make sure I didn't say elitist. Oh, sorry. The Civilist tag that hangs down there. I was just thinking, while I was thinking about Civilist, the store, I was thinking about Pint of Stuff, a channel who are just like, they're what I would dream of being in shoes. I dream of being in sneakers. A great channel. They always have heat in hand, and they just love their dunks. Absolutely love their dunks. They were kind enough to drop a comment on the denim video that I did. I think they might have already also dropped a comment on the Samba video too. Two dunks that dropped very recently, and they're just a great channel. Like I say, something I aspire to. I hope they're doing well out there, and I hope they're watching this video, and I hope they get their hands on this content, because I'm sure they will be looking for these shoes. But also a look at the store, you know, the Civilist store, and it's online. And I actually wrote it down on the iPad. I'm going to read this to you guys. As you know, I research the videos before I stand up and talk about them. And what it says is that the reason the two guys made the store in Berlin, in Germany, and so they said they wanted to make something that was part skate store, part streetwear boutique, and a place where art exhibitions and launches could happen. That's just so cool. You know, when I said earlier in this video about this being like the authentic cool, not the Supreme or the Off-White cool, that's so cool. So that the behind me here should be on the green screen a picture of the screenshot of their web store, and you can see skateboards. I think I chose the skateboards as the picture to go on here because it kind of really represents the SB line, obviously. So yeah, So back to the shoe though, segueing out there, because I said, that's right, we were talking about the branding that's hanging off the swoosh there. It says Civilist. Usually on any branded Dunks, it's usually attached to the heel, an icon of some kind. And if you think the pigeon icon on the classic pigeon Dunks, which is surely behind me here on the green screen, that's usually where the branding goes. So having a tag hanging off the swoosh is actually quite rare and unusual. And then the last thing to talk about, I'll talk about two things. One is the branding on the heel. Usually they put Nike up there on the back in capital letters, and then the eel doesn't.
The eel.
The E doesn't fit in quite in that little branding panel, and the eel has this sort of hunched over look to it. The eel, I said it again. The E has this hunched over look to it, and I always, like I said, I always try to leave in that kind of stuff. I don't like to edit the videos too much, and it becomes this static thing. But the E gets a sort of hunched over look, except when they do it in lowercase like this, capital N, lowercase I, K, and E, and therefore the small e fits in a bit better. And then, like I said, I did want to show you two things, and the last thing is that all black outsole with the SB branding right in the center of the outsole. So back to full picture, looking at the shoe, great looking shoe, it really is. And just that whole vibe of that heat, changing color, I think it's going to work. I think people are going to be after these, absolutely non-stop. I think this is going to be a big shoe. Like every other Dunk that has come out in the summer of 2020, this is the year of the Dunk, and I don't think they planned that. I don't think they were pushing that. They're pushing like the Jordan 5s for their 30th year. They're pushing the Air Max 90 for their 30th year. So I don't think they were trying to push the Dunks this year, if you know what I mean. And maybe that's why they're cool, is because it's not to do with like the kind of company hype trying to grab the cash. It's to do with like cool collaborations like this one today. Okay, time for me to shoot off. I've got to go away. It's just after 6 p.m. on Saturday, and I just shot two videos back to back, and the one I shot about the Paris Saint-Germain 4s, I'm going to try and get up before 7 p.m, which is my usual drop time. So I have 55 minutes or so to edit that video, upload it to YouTube, and put all the information in. So I'm going to get off and do that. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I truly appreciate it. But as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.